Ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, you're now watching another episode of Regame, and I'm your host, Reed, and let's talk about trusting God's timing. What does this mean? We are in a society of instant gratification, and God does not operate that way. He's not going to over or under deliver. He's just not going to do that. He will not give you the thing that you desire, that he would love to give you if you're not ready for it, especially because he just has a foresight that you don't have because you're not up there. He's like, if I give you this, you'll destroy yourself. And you thinking, man, I need this right now. He give it to you, you might be in a worse position than you start. So you have to trust God's time. It's not about how you thought it should look, or when you thought you should get it, or I've been working so hard it should have came by now. I feel like I've done enough work. What if you haven't? How do you know? You feel that way, but that may not be the truth. That may not be the truth. So trust God's time. Really take a break, take a minute, stop looking at the end and start looking at the journey and take pride in where you are. Let God hold your hand and embrace God that, hey, whatever moment you're in right now, this is not the end for you. Whether that is you are looking for more finance, some type of stuff, a relationship, it does not matter. God has your back. You are not in this thing alone. And I think that's where we mess up as people, because we don't see God. We don't physically, verbally hear God. So we think God's not there and that he just left you alone on an island. And that's just not how God works. It's just not. So trust his timing. Really take time to gauge your situation and be grateful, because whatever situation you think is just super crazy, I promise you someone has it worse than you. And that's not to diminish what you're going through. That just means that be gracious about what you're dealing with, because God's not going to give you anything that you can't handle. That's basically what I'm getting at with that. So wait on this time. Pray, talk to God. Ask him, is there anything else that I need to do? Ask him that. He'll answer that question for you. He will. You got to block out the noise, though. You can't ask him that and then start doing your own thing. I think that's another thing where you mess up at too. All right, God, I need your help. I need this thing. Cool. Send a prayer out, and then you don't sit still. You just start doing stuff. I suffer from that too. Listen, sitting still and waiting on God's timing is very difficult, but it requires faith. A lot of people just think faith is believing in God. No, faith is so many different facets. Faith can also be, hey, I read about how God blessed David, how God blessed Joseph, how God blessed Abraham, how God blessed this person or that person and took Elijah. We can point to so many different accounts. The faith is knowing that he'll do that for you too. You're not any less than Abraham. Granted, Abraham was amazing, but in God's eyes, you and Abraham are right here. You and David right here. Everyone's equal in the kingdom of heaven. In God's eyes, he loves us all equally and will provide for us all equally, especially if you're being obedient. So be encouraged. Wait on God's timing. Read those stories and be encouraged. Look at the things that Joseph went through and see how he ended up on the other side of what he went through. And Joseph went through quite a lot. Be encouraged. Take that in. Read those stories and be like, you know what? God had Joseph's back. God gonna have my back. Jesus told us the birds get fed. Are you not greater than the birds? So wouldn't he take care of you? There is not even anything set for the birds to just eat. They just have food. No one's providing it. It's just set up that way. But God will actually come down and put his hand on you and provide for you. Just be obedient. Take your time. Let God work. Stop touching stuff. Stop touching stuff. Sit back. Let God work. I know it may be hard. I know you may think that like, hey, I need this thing right now. And if I don't get it right now, I'm done and destroyed. God not going to let you get destroyed. David said, I was once young, now I'm old. And I have never seen a righteous man or his seed out in the streets begging for bread. So be obedient. Wait on God's timing. Trust God's timing. And the things that you asked him for, you prayed for, they will come to you because he heard you. He heard you. All right, guys. You know how it is. I think this gonna be my closing statement every time I start talking and closing this out. Bite-sized content. Until I get requests for like, yo, you should dive deeper in these things. We doing 5 minutes, maybe 10 at the max. So we already passed 5, and I feel like I got my point across. So remember, trust God's timing, because God loves you and he wants the best for you. He has big plans, great visions for a good life for you. He does not want to see you suffer. That is not the life of a Christian, of God's people, of Israel. It's not struggle. If you're being obedient, you will not struggle. You may not get what you want right then and there, instant gratification, but struggling, suffering, and you being obedient to God, never. No. You may get tested, but tests are right before breakthroughs. So keep that in mind too. Look at Job. All right, y'all. I'm out of here. I love you. God loves you. Make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, share the video. Put in the comments how you trusted God in his timing and you got more than you asked for, or exactly what you asked for, or more than you ever could have dreamed. It does not matter, but put it in there. Give your testimony. That stuff helps people, because there are a lot of people that are in dark places that are asking for things from God and they don't see a light at the end of the tunnel. And your testimony can be the galvanizing thing that they need to push them further. So do that for me. I appreciate you guys. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.